conflict management committee. Now you said for it to carry out its mandate, one must complain. There must be a complainant.
Yes.
And also there's a new system where ECZ does
early system.
Yes. Now, is that a third person or even just the aggrieved? Is it the aggrieved party or even a third person?
Even a third party now.
Okay.
The early warning system where you use your phone allows everyone. You can even report as anonymous. Where you need to put your name, you just want to report to say, Kwanu kudanze zahala. Maybe it's one political party and the other members opponents are not there to witness. Okay. So a person, a community member can just report to say there is this. I think in the next few days we should be having this system getting the maximum attention from ECZ.
Okay.
Yes, we got the training for the trainers. We are just waiting to train the people that are in the ward and make it public. They are still working on the website to make sure that Amuluma phone file text message it's able to reach our website quickly. Okay. Yes.
Now, all right. Maybe just a few minutes before we move on from conflict management committee. Why can't this committee just jump on or rather act on or carry out its mandate without anyone complaining? Because I think we've seen a lot of I don't know about Limulunga, but here in Mongo we've seen statements that raise eyebrows like that statement, and nothing has been done about it. Why can't the conflict management committee just carry out its mandate and reprimand such a person or bring them and talk to them?
There are certain situations that can lead to violence. As an electoral body, if you ignore that, you may have issues. So depending on the nature of issues or the nature of cases, Zambia police has always been active on the ground to make sure that such things are handled. But you need to look at whether it has a particular threat that may go into beyond perception to an actual reality. So investigations usually are done. They don't just sit. They also get alerted with certain situations on the ground to make sure that if there are certain scenarios going on, there will be a way in which members or the affected parties could find a way of being sensitized to understand. So what do? They go to the radio station to talk about conflict, to make sure that we are sensitized enough to easily understand that this situation actually requires to be reported. So now if we start going to say, can everyone with a complaint come and then we may find that even some that may not be substantiated could be given. But we do sensitization through radios to make sure that we provide all the scenarios to make it easier for anyone to provide that feedback and make a complaint. Except we may not just start looking at cases without any report at the end of the day. When you call someone, what evidence do you have? Yes. And then how do you resolve it? That's why we end up going for sensitization to make sure that either the affected parties or even you can complain to say, I think based on what I heard on the radio, I think there is a problem here which requires to reach the conflict committee. Yes.
Right. Now, as you know, when during campaigns, when there are campaigns, a lot of services, public services get affected.
Yes.
All right, they get affected. Now, what measures have you put as a local authority to make sure that public service isn't interrupted?
Not everyone who needs to work for ECZ during this period. First of all, as a DO, you have those that you are working with under ECZ, but then you also need to have the other parties that will be able to progress with other services. But there are some that have an intersection set. I'll give an example of procurement officers and the stores officers. A procurement officer will still be able to do procurements maybe for CDF, for other processes, even when they are procuring certain services for ECZ. A stores officer will still provide fuel for service delivery, even when they are busy with ECZ. So we still have to make sure that we are multitasking. It is incumbent upon the principal officer, who is the DO, to make sure that nothing goes to sleep, because services have to be delivered. People still have to see government implementation. Remember, our budget implementation calendar is January to December.
Yes.
So no one will listen to me to say, no, between May and July or August, we couldn't do this because we were conducting elections. That's why literally in every position you may have more than one person that is able to do that. If you have a single officer, they should be ready to do all the tasks for both ECZ as well as the council, because they are still paid by the council during this period.
Right. Apart from voter education, what other role does the council have in encouraging citizens to participate in elections?
Apart from voter education that we administer through the people that are on the ground, we also talk to these candidates. By the way, when we brief them before they go in the field, we tell them on the importance of voting, for instance. So even candidates tell people how to vote. The only thing they do is they tell them where to vote
and who to vote,
vote for. Otherwise, we interact with the stakeholders. We also, in public meetings, we do those discussions away from the general non-voter education.
Okay.
We also make sure that sometimes at every event, maybe there is a drama away from our voter educators. Maybe you are attending a particular funeral where people ask you need to talk about it. You need to have posters that are taken. We also need to basically encourage one-on-one. I need to ask people. Sometimes you find a group of youth. You ask them, have you ever voted? No. Did you register? Yes, we did. Are you going to vote this year? Yes. Do you know how to? So there are those direct interactions.
And why is it important for citizens to to participate in development or in the electoral process itself?
The electoral process, according to our constitution, is the number one key to development. It's the one that opens gates to make sure that there is development. You need to have a councillor that will bring views on the ground, from the ground to the council. You need to have an MP who get constituency issues to parliament. You need to have a president who is going to preside over. So at the end of the day, you need to choose who should represent you, who understands, and that's the importance. But if you don't participate, then you may have the person you didn't want to represent you going through by one vote because you didn't participate.
Okay. Well, you are watching the Power Program right here on Bulozi TV, the pride of Bulozi. I'm in the studio with Council Secretary for Limulunga town, who is Mr. Namenda Kaonga. Now, a council secretary is equivalent to a town clerk. It's only that in a municipality, we have a caller. Kimanzi wanchangwe mabizo abona niko balulizeza.
Kimanzi wanini wona nibo council secretary balunaka.
Retume shangwe.
Umwana mwambo bali mulonga la kuli.
Umwana mwambwa. Mwakona kusubira pili shangwe.
Shangwe na kabuzo fera.
Shangwe.
Kwa mana baba botangaba. Ni mutwa mutompe hiyo kama kwa huyu mwana yule na amana kaburi kanti. Baba tonela baba kaniko ya kundu anga kama kubota. Kibalu tela kamba neve baba mulatu. Baba teziri ko bakona kunga kabero. Omutwale napubera kaya. Monile muhezina. Ngata baba banga no kujuli. Imaru.
Encha.
Kuba lunani ukoli bumbulu wonanga kuli. Baba tira hospital munga bamba pala kubani polo ni kwa ba izapula kuli bai kumane ko kuwa.
Shangwe.
Kumane ko mwali kili kona ba twetera ko ko kutoza mai ko ni kile ntoe. Katikini aisa tusiva tu mwa kili ona mo. Itakuliva ko kili batoke na nge kuli mwa ko na ba mkamana banga tabeza kwa ko. Sauta yo. Nabali siwe ko kwa mwali munga.
Encha.
Kumane hanga batoka kona kuzwa kwa sinanga Kongo kai kere ntoyale rubona kule bai bona chwani go kanso secretary abakanya kanka kuli kantivatu bai tema bote abona kakupira mwa sisi kona mu baberekero na mu bona abazi bani batu bamona
ensha
kwa pateni ni kama hainyani hata baya akuli na bai tapata ani sisi go kanso secretary mu batu takili mo segabona akumka barakuli mwali bakaze upira kumwe na kumutali mwali Mulunga bapatie mubaeza mukopano kwa imwamu ya kata mutepo yabona kono abamwe batita mu mukoko bali zasilimba tena kuli babayizi ko mukopano ko leba utwa mu mutu naho kampinya kusayira kwa hayo mwali Mulunga kwa nje akata oni ali Mulunga kwa saide mbona kwa mukopano bali patie mukinya baka kusimba ni kuya kuyo berekera kwa hole kakula bali zasilimba bali bali ko mukopano abamu abatatereza bamwe abatatereza limbara abamu sisi kwa humu mwahali wakateni hataba ya kubota batu abamu sebahanera kuweza njabazo akubota bakini takuli babu leo andi zile kuli kubota kwa mina kwa butokwa unasema wote zimutu yani yaba kutoku kia abaki iwe hata kuli kele atiele zili kilaelo zabona kamba atiele zabamu meziko taba gwela kutamuzilika mweberekera ofisi ya MP kamba ya kansela naona nange kulaba na butokwa kile taba kambe ruli wabeza sasa kwa mbola ni cyaba cyo kaba kugura cyaba kambe libona bale makati baba gwela imi na mulatera babigwaba tumukopane nibona ngo mukopane ali nakola masikita ne mukabona kundeba kabanga ho bunoro ko yakokugota ni tume ntango 10 niko kapa
Betumezi wo mwana mwamba shankwe Mwendikao bebe lu ya first year why not teach the people from the same district? Just you said I'm sure you responded, you said most of them they do not understand, most of them they do not know, and so you tend to pick from the ones who know to avoid messing up, for lack of a better term. Sure. Now mwana mwamba wabula king kanti ona vale babasazi vale amusaba luti. Why don't you teach them so that come another election they are ready now and they can apply and you can keeping the wealth from the same district. And the other one, maybe just that one first.
Kaubebe kiniti priority to be given to our people in Limulunga and also those that are coming from a particular ward to make it easy for them to be deployed. Yabubeli eba bulezi kiyakuvila ela ma candidates bawasa kutangi interference baba eza kuliva mbala ni rally wa mbaeza lilata. We need to address that. Nusa laku wani political liaison committee meeting kono umeke follow-ups na abulezi revise advise to avoid disrupting a rally for your friend that is taking place. Lukapanga follow-up and check what is happening on the ground. If your campaign center inzi mwas vukafinisiwa kasababa kutoka kuwafali kutekuli na kweba abantu mukopano you lower your music akuli yale selina kwayona umeke follow-up. Okay. Kwa makanselers veruna nimata kuona after elections kuvanga ne orientation kono nikanga submission ya mwana mwamba to make sure that we orient these people. Okay. Not how to just work more council. Okay. Kono how to go back kwa watu. Okay. Kakuli wawamu all of a sudden nakweva ambola nisichava kono once they are elected they don't know how to talk to people. Kono luka is emphasize ni kuwafanga a certain means of verification kuona whether they are meeting with the people or not. I think Luka is come up with a way ya kuvona kuli these people my councillors at that time vafa feedback kama waweza meet watu for ground
shangwe
ensha
mwendi kuona kuli nakoide tumanzi twale ketukala kuzama ya first screen ya unafari mwendi your last remarks to the citizens regarding governance and development as well as maybe just your own words.
My advice and encouragement is let's turn up on August 13th to go and vote. We want to have a huge turnout in all the polling stations. It is our right to vote. I also wish to appeal to all the candidates participating everywhere at all levels to make sure that they follow the rules. They signed an oath to the Electoral Code of Conduct to make sure that they will follow. Let them advise their agents, their members to be peaceful. So far it has been peaceful, but we need to maintain peace before, during and after elections. And after that, those who will not make it should accept the results.
Shangwe.
Because it is only one person who has to go through. There are relevant procedures that are laid down for someone to appeal. At every level, there is an appealing process. This time, even for what? The Constitutional Court is making arrangements to sit in the provincial headquarters to make sure that any appeals are going to be handled. So let people campaign peacefully and accept the results. People should turn up to go and vote on that particular day.
All right. Remember, democracy is strengthened when citizens are informed, engaged, and peaceful. All right. This program comes to you every Tuesday at 19 hours live on Bulozi TV. All right. This has been the power. We are looking at the role that the local authority plays on the electoral process. I am Bruce Mwipihi, Masalela. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged. Good night, Zambia.
Thank you so much.